Hello everyone, it's time for our Friday update here at City Hall. We'll start out again with the COVID numbers, and sadly I can't say that there's been any great improvement here in Bardstown, Nelson County, or Kentucky. Tuesday it was reported 4,000 cases here in Kentucky, which was the highest single day ever here in Kentucky of the number of cases. Yesterday that number was 2,800 here in Kentucky, so record numbers of cases. Right here at home, again, the numbers were still very high here. We're having, it used to be we would go weeks without anyone passing away as a result of COVID. Now it's almost becoming weekly. So we've just got to do better. And here in the United States, yesterday was the worst day for deaths since the pandemic started. It was the most deaths reported in any single day here in the United States. In Kentucky, 114 counties out of 120. So you might as well say the entire state is red. And my message today is, this is somewhat preventable. And that is, if we as individuals will take some of the advice we've been getting and do our part. It's time for us not to think about this being an infringement on your rights or your constitutional rights. It's time not to have the attitude, well, they can't tell me what to do, or I've got my own rights. It's time for us to think about the well-being of each other, and that is, what can I do to make a difference? Because Christmas is coming on soon, and we're probably going to have to do the same thing we did at Thanksgiving. We're going to have to do the same thing at Christmas, meaning cutting back on the number of people that we gather with for those Christmas holiday gatherings. And I'm just asking that, everyone think about yourself, think about your neighbors, your friends, your relatives, your coworkers, and it is preventable. And that is, if we wear our mask, do our social distancing and our cleansing, we can try to get these numbers down, because what we're doing collectively is not really working to get our numbers down, and that's our goal. Good news, though, here locally, there has been some activity through the Lincoln Trail Health Department about vaccines. I know many of you have heard that it's probably going to be here in the near future, the next few weeks, that some vaccines will be made available here in Kentucky and elsewhere in the United States. And Joe Pruitt has reported to Judge Watson and I that many of our first responders and others who might be eligible for the first round of vaccines are being surveyed for their eligibility. And those vaccines that we will get here initially will be used to treat people in long-term facilities, those healthcare providers in those facilities, healthcare workers elsewhere in our hospitals and other long-term facilities, first responders who are in contact with people who are being affected by COVID. Those will be the first ones eligible. And so we're excited that some of those people will get the vaccine hopefully before the end of the year. On the other side of that, other people who are not in that situation, it'll still take some time for those vaccines to get out in large numbers to get this under control. So we've got to keep our guard up. Other good news that maybe is some help for those that have been impacted by the recent closures of indoor dining at restaurants, cutbacks at our local gyms, and shutting down our bars. The governor has announced that there's a $40 million in funds available through CARES Act funds, and there's a link on the Bardstown City website that you can go to, or you can go to Team Kentucky, brf.kentucky.gov, and apply for these grants. Grants are for up to $10,000 for each business to receive to help you with dealing with being shut down or drastically cut back as a result of the governor's executive order. So take advantage of those funds. Hopefully some of our people here in Bardstown and Nelson County will be able to get some of those funds and help tide them over until we can get reopened. Last night was our annual Christmas parade. Obviously, due to COVID, it had to be done in a different manner. It was held out to the Dean Watts Park. I just want to thank WBRT, WOKH, Roth Stratton for sponsorship and the others who sponsored it. The Kiwanis Club of Bardstown provided a lot of volunteers, and Wilma Sorrell and her team helped coordinate the floats and the entries as she always does. So thank you all for kind of putting that together in a very innovative way to provide some Christmas cheer here in Bardstown and Nelson County. Lastly, last week I reported on some major work done by our Bardstown narcotics division of the Bardstown Police Department. Once again, they were up to their hard work last night. There's going to be a major press release today on another major bust involving a large amount of illegal drugs, a large amount of cash being confiscated, as well as some weapons. So good work again by the narcotics unit of the Bardstown Police Department. We're proud of the work they're doing to try to get the illegal drugs off the street and the drug traffickers off the street. That concludes my report for this week. Hope you have a good weekend. Let's all be safe and do our part to keep everyone safe in our community.